Alrighty, my friends, after all these years, I'm finally going to attempt this. Forgive me, I'm going to say right from the very beginning that really I haven't seen anybody do this on the internet yet with a radio-controlled truck, but I think I'm ready to try it. One of the episodes I had years ago, and one of the build series I had, was based on one of my favorite TV series of all time, the BBC series Top Gear with Jeremy and the boys, right? Like, everybody loved that show. And one of the things they did back in the day was a series called To Kill a Toyota. And that, you know, they had a small Toyota pickup truck. They put it through a whole series of different beatings to see, and it was an icon on the show. In fact, they kept that truck up on a pedestal in a lot of the shows that were broadcast at that time. So I went through and I did a whole build series and built the whole truck and did the rust and tried to make it as realistic as possible. And I had a ton of fun with that truck. Now, eventually it did wear out because it was years ago. In fact, how many of the viewers here now watching today's show remember that series? Post up in the comment section, let me know down below. And now, even at that time, there was a ton of requests for me to do something called the Toybota. Now, you guys have already seen the title. You probably have been looking in the video description box. You know that this is the project I am finally going to attempt.
Oh, a truck boat.
It's a truck boat.
A truck boat? We should make a truck boat,
That's
hey?
a great idea.
That is a good idea. Maybe the Toybota. I've got really no idea how, other than I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. Now, this truck I have right here, and we'll go over the story of the Toybota in a moment, but I want to tell you about the truck I have here. This is the long wheelbase Trailfinder 2 I have from a company called RC Four-Wheel Drive. It's a 1/10 scale electric trail truck. You can get this from RC Four-Wheel Drive as a kit, or I actually got this body at a place called Asia Tees online. But regardless, this is a long kit that I would love to try out and to make into the Toybota. Let's have a look online here. When I go into Toybota on Google, here, let me kind of get you in here and have a look. Because I wanted to search to see if anybody has done an RC Toybota before. The funny thing is when I searched Top Gear truck, the Toybota RC, up comes the picture of Jeremy and the boys, and then a whole bunch of pictures of the Top Gear truck that I built to kill a Toyota, which I thought was cool. First, the picture right here, if it kind of tunes in for us, of the first time they were crossing, or this is the second, I think this is the second time when they were crossing the channel. Check it out here. You can see Jeremy and everybody in the back. This is an amphibious truck, and the amphibious truck is really meant to cross the entire channel. Now, this was not the very first one that I saw. In fact, the first one I saw, here is the picture, we'll get you in close, of the original one. Look at the size of the engine on the back that Jeremy Clarkson wanted to have installed, and so they totally did. It's huge. Now, I figured I could do the Hilux, but in an RC, you know what? The longer wheelbase is going to give me more surface area underneath the truck to help it try to float. Now, years ago, I actually came across a boat made by Pro Boat called the Stiletto, and it actually had a huge outboard motor like this. And so over the months, I've been thinking to myself, how the heck am I going to find it? They never made it. Pro Boat stopped making the Stiletto a long time ago, but you guys know I am resourceful. Anyway, let's go back to having a look at the actual crossing here, just so you guys have an idea of what the boat actually looks like, the truck boat. There's Jeremy's boat right there, okay? So his truck, his nose is just above the water. He does have these giant white barrels on the side, plus he also has that single engine in the back. Now, the beauty is that the whole thing for me, I just have to have it float enough where it's not taking on water in the back. He's got the front of the whole vehicle kind of up in the water there. So really just above the striping is where I'd want to see it on this truck right here. Right, so as long as I have it, I'm going to keep the snorkel on there. As long as I have it floating through here, I'll be happy with that. So, number one, now that you guys know what the Toybota is, now that you know what my idea is, here, let's have a look. I went and I sourced out, I found the Stiletto motor, at least the external parts, the engine, the outboard motor. Check it out, guys, the size of my hand. Look at the size of my iPhone 7 Plus. Okay, this thing is enormous. In fact, you can only get it completely empty. You can't get it assembled at all. So I also had to source out a brushless motor. The motor I went with is a 4-pole 2000 kV. I didn't need a super amount of power, right? Like I don't need to skip and across. I want it to be as realistic as possible. And if we can get some controls in on the back and maybe get a figure in the back, get the truck to float, still have the outboard motor there on a different radio channel, right? Like once I have this mounted up, get this water-cooled motor out of the way. And I wanted to figure out if there was some way, check it out. Let me see here so you can see it better. I would have loved to have had it like up and down. But the weight of this motor back here is going to be substantial because the weight of the truck itself. Let's turn on my digital scale. Gonna clear it out. Let's take the body off. Have a look at just the truck itself. What do we got? 5.2 pounds. So about 7.2 pounds, and then of course I have to add on, let's say about another 1.5 pounds just for the engine and motor. Plus I'm gonna need another servo for controlling the steering on this, plus whatever. So let's just say overall the truck is gonna weigh about 10 pounds, give or take. One thing I have to be concerned about itself is that the wheelbase is not very wide, right? Check it out. It's comparatively, it's very, very narrow. So that's why I wanted to go with the very long wheelbase this way. Underneath, all of this still has to float. Now, fortunately for me, I don't have a gas engine, so I don't really have to worry about getting in there. Most of the electronics, and rather all of the electronics I'm using, is waterproof. So this does have servo here for shifting the transmission. It is a 2-stage transmission, plus a servo up here for the steering, which does, of course, all the steering mechanism up front. A leaf spring suspension, and of course, steel drive shafts, steel skid or aluminum skid plate on the bottom, or alloy really. So overall, it's a pretty sturdy thing. So what I'm going to want to do is make sure I've got lots of lift. So I'm going to use closed cell foam, basically a pool noodle. Going to cut out a bunch on the inside here and really fill up this cab area. So to end today, really what I'd like to do is to go and float this in the water with no foam in it, and then put some foam in it and go and float it and see where we can go from there. Can you believe RC Adventures is almost at 1 billion views? That's with a B, you guys. I figured we might as well usher in a project that actually would also be viewed 1 billion times. Guys, what's up?
Hi!
Hello!
Are you almost at 1 billion views?
Almost at 1 billion, guys!
All I gotta say is that's awesome!
Is that a guy you're standing on?
It's our scarecrow. Protects our land.
I didn't need my martial arts practice guy anymore, so now he just protects the corn. Here's the new gate. Don't have to battle the barbed wire anymore just to get down to the water. Pure water. You guys know the canal if you've been watching the show at all. This is where I run a lot of the boats. Today I want to see how quickly this sinks. Here we go. I did seal up the back, no flotation in the front, right to the bottom. So 0 flotation. So the tires are sealed bead locks, though they do take on water over time. Just gonna let it go gently and straight to the bottom. Yeah, it's definitely not floating. All right, now we know it sinks like a rock. But what would we expect, right? It's not supposed to be floating. Number one thing I need to do, obviously, dry it out so I can work on it. Now, if it sank like that without the motor on the back, with the motor, it's going to be even worse. But with the chassis drying in the sun outside, here we go. Here is what I'm talking about. Just the normal pool noodle. The only thing I don't like is that it does have a hole down through the middle, which will allow water in. I just want to look on the inside. I'm not concerned about water getting in. Of course, water is going to seep everywhere. I did seal the back with a silicone all the way around, except for one hole where I'm gonna have the antenna coming up, because of course I want the antenna above the water. Now, this has a longer flat truck bed than the Trail Finder 2, the Hilux version. I like this UTE version simply because it's a classic to begin with, and again, I think it's gonna float really well. I'm gonna take a very sharp razor blade and just kind of eyeball it here to where I need to start cutting. So there you go. You can see it's snug, but it's not really kind of bulging out at all. It's just nicely fit in there without moving around. Now I'm gonna cut another piece and basically build a lot of this out, keeping in mind that I've got to have room for the motor, then the pinion, and of course the shifting servo. For the holes in the foam, all I'm doing is sticking a whole bunch through just so I have as much flotation as possible. Okay, the chassis is pretty much dry. So I want to start fitting it to know exactly where I have room to put more foam, of course. I've left the battery and everything in here, being careful, of course, just because I want real weight scenarios right now. Looks like I can actually put, so what I'm judging is the amount of space I have in here, underneath here, over the transmission, as well as under the wheel wells without interrupting any of the mechanics in there, right? Okay, jumping forward even more, now you can see I've actually made room for the shifting servo. I've gone in, I've used quite a bit of tape. I'll clean up my tape lines a little later after the testing is done. This is basically just to find out if I'm going to have enough lift. Now this piece does have an orange piece of flotation stuck in through the middle of it, as well as you can't really see any of this from the bottom. I wanted to make sure, that's why I was black taping it. The only thing you can see is the blue in the front, and it kind of looks like an air filter anyway. So very, very cool. Time to go ahead and reassemble and see if we can see anything. So there we are. That's about the right height. Let's flip it back over. Suspension completely works, lots of movement. Got the antenna poking through the back. So having a nice close look at it, I don't really see, except for some of this tape hanging down, which could be easily fixed, I don't really see any of the blue foam, right? Like I don't really get an indicator of that. And of course, with a little bit more ingenuity, I can get all of that foam to disappear. But this entire cab, underneath everything, is now full. And now the test will be, let me see, how is that in the middle? Looks like I just need to push it down a little bit more there. I kind of have it bowing a little bit. That's okay, a quick trim of the foam. The next test will be is getting it down to the canal and see if I can get it to float any better than I did before. Let's go. All right, here we go. Does it float any better? 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at this. Oh yes, we have potential. before it floats away on me. Okay, so one thing that I'm having to think about right now is the engine is obviously the outboard motor is going to be going on the back. This is why I sealed up the back. You'll see that one hole is letting water in, but if I can actually stop that from happening, maybe put in a rubber grommet or whatnot, I think we actually have some potential, because if I look at this, it's floating now. If I take it and added some weight at the back, it kind of lifts up the front. But I also want to go and build myself some sort of skid plate for underneath the front. But at least we know it has potential now, my friends. Ugh. My Toyota will have the opportunity to float. Can you believe it? What an amazing day. If you guys want to follow along with this project, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. You want to see the Toybota happen, so do I. So I'm going to work hard, try to figure it out, muddle my way through it, and we'll see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Bye for now.